Hey, this is Ron from MathSkills University. Today I'm going to give you an overview on MuseScore Studio 4.0. I'm a bass player, but I do play guitar as well as keyboard. I did reviews on this, PowerTab, and TUXGUITAR. So you can compare them for yourself and see which one works the best for you. How to set up an instrument and get started with tabulations. Click on the little arrow here. Click on the tablature. Go down here to create a linked staff. So now I have two staffs. I'm going to change 6-string simple to standard. That's going to give me a standard setup here. And I'm going to click on the tablature here. I'm going to change that to 6-string simple. So now I'll get the tab here, press N to go into my note mode, which is right here. Once that's on, I can start bringing in notes, as you can see. Or type in 8, 0. So the tabs work. And these are connected now. Let's get started with a brief orientation to MuseScore. Then we'll move on to PowerTab. And lastly, we'll go into TUXGUITAR. I know there's really no comparison because MuseScore is just so phenomenal. And they're all free. They all work on Windows-based systems, on any Mac, or in Linux, which is great. I'm going to start with MuseScore. And I have the latest versions of all the software. So in MuseScore, to get started, we can just press new score or go up here to file and then new, or press control plus N as in Nancy, or go new over here. I'm going to click new right here. I'm going to set up my initial score for guitar. Type in guitar. I'm going to go down and get a electric guitar with tablature on it. Click on that and then click on the arrow key next over here. If I want to set my score up before I start recording and I know what measures I want or what signatures I want, I can go over here to next and then set my key signature here. This is C major by default, my time signature, my tempo, as well as my measures. And then I can actually give my score a name, composer, and all the stuff right here. Once you're done, normally we're here, right? I will just click not next, but done. Now you'll see something like this. Here's my guitar. I'm going to go over some of these options here in a second, but right now I just want to go over how to set up an instrument and get started with tabulations. Click on the little arrow here. This doesn't do much. I can change the name of the guitar, but click on the little arrow here. Then I have tablature. I'm going to click on the tablature to set up right here. I'm going to go down here to create a linked staff. So now I have two staffs. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to click on the icon for the tablature one on top here. I'm going to change 6-string simple to standard. And that's going to give me a standard setup here. Then I'm going to go over here again. I'm going to click on the tablature here. I'm going to change that to 6-string simple. So now I'll get the tab here. To make this bigger, I can press Control or Command, click anywhere on the outside of the score, scroll up or down. Then I can grab this and just move it around. Now we have the setup which is correct, and these are linked. So if I press N to go into my note mode, which is right here. Once that's on, I can start bringing in notes, as you can see. Or type in 8, 0. So the tabs work, and these are connected now. I'll take off the note thing or press N as in Nancy right there to get out of that. If I want to go back, I'll hit Control plus Z as in zebra to go back a few times. When you're trying to do something, if you see this little note icon pop up, that means you're in note recording mode. So take that off, and now you can check the measures here, click on those, and do a few things. To remove these measures here, if I hold down the Shift key, I can just highlight all of these and then press Control or Command plus Delete, and that will disappear. If you try to just drag it over without holding Shift, that's what happens. Hold Shift again. Let's get rid of this excess stuff we don't need right now. Control or Command plus Delete, and that's gone. Now I didn't set up my initial score with a title, but I can easily go back and do that now. Subtitle, composer, yada yada. That's how we'll set up our instruments to start doing tabulation. Make this a little bit bigger, bring it down, and just start hitting notes. So I'm going to press N to bring this up. N as in Nancy. And just start putting in tabs on top or the bottom. If I want to make a chord and then just start going up, and see how it's going to start forming that chord for me. So that's pretty cool, or down. This gives you an idea of how this works. What I want to do now is I'm going to add a bass guitar. So I'm going to click here on add. It's going to take me back to our original screen like we had initially. Now I'm going to type in bass. See down here, you'll see bass guitar, tablature. Click on that and add that. Now we have a guitar and we have a bass guitar. Now you see we have an electric guitar and we have a bass guitar. I want to do the same thing to my bass that I did to my electric guitar. Tab it out. So click on the little arrow right here. Click on this. Let's go ahead and create a link. So now we'll have the same thing we had before. Go back up here to the top bass. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to click on the tablature 4-line. Click on that. I want to change this bottom one to a 4-line simple. That's going to give me the tablature icon right there. Up here, I want to change the clef here to a bass clef. Go over here to bass. Click on that one more time. Now we'll go over here to our 4-line tab. And this, instead of saying 4-line common, we're going to have this say standard. So now we'll get that bass clef we want on the bass guitar section. And we have our tabs here. So these work the exact same. And now I'm in the note mode. So I can put in notes right here. And the same thing applies here as far as chords go and things like that. Let's go ahead and add a piano now. Click on add. Type in piano. We'll just take a regular piano here. So now we have a piano, electric guitar, and a bass guitar. We have 3 instruments here. And here's our piano up here. But if it's a MIDI piano, as you start playing, it'll automatically start playing the notes and showing them on the screen for you. What we can also do is bring down a piano down here on the bottom. Scroll down, as you can see right here, I can bring in different things, right? But here I can bring in a piano keyboard or press P as in Paul. So here's my piano. So you can also move your instruments up and down right here, or just drag them in the middle and just move them down. If you want to move things around, now the piano's on the bottom here. So see how it highlights what section I'm in. If I hit N and start playing, now whatever I play on the piano is going to pop up here on my score, or vice versa. That's how we add instruments. I just want to show you that. I'm going to go over here, click on this. I can change my view on the piano as well to 61 keys, 48 keys, 25 keys, or 128 keys. Let's go over here and do some navigation. So we know how to save a file and all that stuff. We're going to save things over here, and we can import PDFs and things like that. But over here on the top menu, here I can view different things: playback setup, workspaces, navigator, properties. So you can change things over here, the palettes. I can show the palette or not show the palette. Then I can add things over here like notes, intervals, eighths, things like that, triplets, measures, frames, text. Then of course, here I can do some formatting. Some of the tools I have available to me. You can go through the menu, and I don't want to go through this step by step because a lot of this you're going to go through yourself. But here you can check a few things out, check for updates, things like that about MuseScore. You can change some things. Here's your diagnostics. If you want to find out where paths are and where things are located, you can find that out there. So over here we have home. That's where we started. We have our score we're working on right now. We can save that. It's on title right now. It's not saved. And then we have publish. This is what this would look like if we printed this out. Let's go back over to our score. Down here we have basic things. These are numbered 1 through 8 going across, but 16th note, whole notes, half notes, etc. Rest. Then these are just different things you can do as well. Sharps, things like that. Now here's where I can tie 2 notes together. So if I make sure this is not highlighted, that's highlighted. Blue, that's not. If I hold Control or Command and clicked on this note, it's going to turn blue. And this note is going to turn blue. And I clicked on the tie here. It's going to tie these together. Because remember, these are all playing together. Also, when you're trying to do chords, I want to use triplets. Doom, doom, doom. And now I have a basic chord there. Highlight the whole thing. Then go up here and make it a triplet. So now it looks like this. And then we have flip direction, voiceovers. So that's how we do triplets and tie things together. Over here we have accents, as you can see. But things are done a little bit differently here. Like in other programs, you can actually have an icon for a pull off or a hammer on. Here you have to do it manually. So if I click on number 8, if I hit Control K or Control L, I can actually, this is for a lyric, I can type in, you know, lyrics here or whatever. But here I can type in H for hammer on. And then I'll go up here to properties. I'll make that font 8. Then I'll take this and I'll move it right above the number 8. So that becomes my hammer on. If I click on the H and press Control or Command plus C as in cat, and then click on the number 3 and press Control or Command plus V as in victory, I can copy and paste that H over above the 3. Then I'll double click on the H and make it a P. So now you know this is a hammer on and that's a pull off. I can put CM for C major on top of that the same way. I have voice up here, and here I can add things. Anything I want, pretty much over here. And here's my toolbar customization. Anything you want to bring over here, you can just drag it over. Then if you have different parts to your composition like I have here, I have the choice to work on one part at a time. I can create a new part. All this stuff I know you're going to go over yourself. I just want to give you a quick overview of how the menu system is laid out. Then we have a mixer, of course, we can pop up anytime we want. You can play with the mixer. Get rid of that. Here are play and rewind buttons right here. Loop back, metronome, on and off. We can set up that metronome and change how it operates. We can enable MIDI here and set up MIDI devices right here. This tells me again the tempo I'm using, the beats and things like that. So that's how that top menu works. If I go over here to palettes, I have key signatures, I have time signatures, I have tempos, claps, and the guitar is right there, fingering. They call what I call accents, like if I want to pull on or hammer on, they call them articulations. And they do have some. Stroke down, stroke up. You'll see some things like that here. Then I can pop in text anywhere, of course, I want right there. And just a few things. Now, if I want to bring in bar lines, I can bring those in manually. Like just click on this, I can put something right there. Then we have request and jumps. So I want to jump around. If I want you to play this and stop, then jump over here, then jump back over here. You can do jumps over here, like toccatas and things like that. Repeat last measure. You can do all that stuff right there. And then we have the layout. And if I want to move things around, I want to select this, which is system break. And that way I can select what section I want to move around. This is how that works. But I can change how some of this stuff looks as well. So of course we have instruments here, and then over here we have properties. So I can show something or not show something. And while I'm over here on the properties, if I go down to page settings and style settings, I'll get more options that I can customize. I can change how things are set up and laid out on my page. If I go to style settings, everything's available to me, as you can see. If I want to play this back, I just go up here and hit play, or I can press the spacebar. My accounts are right here, and I'm not logged in right now. If I have any extra scores I've been working on, they're going to be saved. You can also bring in all kind of plugins with this program. Check those out. Then they have a complete learning section, so you can learn different things and type in what you want to find specifically right up in here. And when you're done with your project, you want to save it. So go up here to File and Save Copy As. You can save whatever you want to save it as, but I can save it to the cloud for free or my computer. Lesson X. And now I have that saved. There are a lot more detailed lessons out there, and this program does so much. What I would do is focus on what I want to learn that day and just watch all the YouTube lessons on that particular topic and then move on to the next topic. This way you really understand the program. Okay, so that'll conclude our lesson on MuseScore. This is just a simple orientation. It's not really a lesson per se. And don't forget to check out my tutorials on PowerTab and TUXGUITAR. If you have any comments, suggestions, or tips for us, please leave them below. If you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. While this was just a quick overview of these 3 programs, what I want to know is what you think. Try all 3 out and let me know which one you think is the easiest to work with or that gets the job done the way you want it done. Thank you very much for watching and have a creative day.